Welcome back to another episode of Yachting Unplugged, the industry's news desk. My name is Kim Sweers, the boat boss, and I'm here with Rick Thomas, the insightful and he knows everything that's going on in the industry. Rick Thomas, welcome. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Kim. Boy, what a setup.
Yes, I know. We are coming off a major month in the marine industry, from the European shows to so much stuff going on worldwide in our industry. And now we're full throttle ahead into the U.S. boat show circuit.
That's right, Kim. It's been nonstop. The cycle of launches, mergers, acquisitions. I was over in Monaco a few weeks ago. Seems just like yesterday, and then segued right over to Tampa for the IBEX.
Right, yeah.
And amongst those trips and conversations, so much insight into what's happening in the boating, yachting industry right now.
There really is. And speaking of big news, we all are internationally, our businesses are worldwide. We deal with WhatsApp so much, right? I mean,
we all use it.
We all use it. I don't know one person that doesn't know about it, but the big news about the founder of WhatsApp, Jan Koum, who is actually right now the founder, and he's a billionaire, and he's suing his longtime designer, renowned designer, Remy Tessier, alleging there's been a pattern of exploitation, including inflated prices and undisclosed kickbacks on design projects spanning from 5 properties and many of his yachts.
Yeah, he's got $200 million plus properties in California alone, and he's got a couple of very large yachts. And, you know, I think this comes down to transparency and disclosure.
Well, disclosure.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're working with high-end products and with high net worth individuals, you're going to be dealing with properties and assets that have a lot of value. And if you're buying or selling, there's going to be transactional costs. There's going to be commissions. That's not unusual, and that's not unethical.
Speaking of commission, I understand there was a $7+ million piece of Picasso artwork, and there was $600,000. He's alleged $600,000 in commission that was never disclosed to Jan.
So I think that's a legitimate complaint. If you're acquiring a piece of artwork and you don't realize that over $500,000 of the purchase price is going to your designer, the guy that's setting things up and establishing that maybe you should put this piece either on your boat or in your home, that'd be a conversation I'd want to have for sure.
I know, absolutely. Well, speaking of conversation, let's talk about the European shows. I understand you went to the Monaco show. How was it?
Expensive? No, I mean, you know, that's one of the big conversations over in Europe this past year has been the €750 ticket price to get into the show. The first day, the exclusivity on the docks, very difficult to get on the docks unless you got the right credential. They're trying to keep it very exclusive for the potential owners and their brokers, which I get. I mean, we're trying to sell some big expensive boats there. But at what price and at what reputation? I mean, if you're spending a lot of money and then you're told that you can't get out on the docks after, you know, a €750 ticket, I can understand why that might feel upsetting. I think the show was okay. I don't think it was over the top. It was
the weather was nice.
Yeah, they predicted rain the whole time. We had gorgeous, beautiful, sunny weather the whole time. Was blessed with the good weather. And listen, I engaged in a lot of conversations, saw a lot of people, did not have enough time to see everybody I wanted to or create as much content as I would have liked to.
It's like that way.
So in that context, it was a good show. But I think there's maybe a recalculation that possibly needs to be made about what that show is or isn't or could or should be. Okay. So we'll see.
Well, let's roll into the major players. We have a lot going on right now on the build side. We're seeing major players solidifying their financial as well as their future order books. We want to talk about Royal Hackford.
Well, let's go back to the other side of the pond. Yeah, I mean, both in the Netherlands and in Italy. So Royal Hackford, I built a boat there called Scout, about 7 years ago. Big boat. And if you've ever been to that part of the Netherlands, that shipyard is hundreds of years old, a tiny building on the waterway. It's incredible. They can put 70 meters of yacht out of that building, but they do, and they do a beautiful job of it. They're all handcrafted one at a time. And it sounds like Hackford has got a
70 meter.
The biggest one that'll ever been built there.
That's great. Congratulations. Yes, it's a 70 meter project called YN258. There's always a mystery behind the name.
Well, the yard number, that's what that stands for, 258. And
okay, good to know.
They don't normally assign a name, announce that until the owner or the shipyard has got the NDA squared away that lets that happen. Going to Italy, though, ISA, better known as Palumbo Shipyard, and congratulations to Giuseppe Palumbo. He's announced their first, largest ever 100-meter custom yacht, what they call the Grand Coupe of the Sea. She'll be a 2,099 gross ton, just under 3,000 gross ton.
Big one.
Steel hull, aluminum superstructure. She'll be supported with 31 crew, and she'll have a cruising max speed of about 17 knots.
And you're looking at a 2029 delivery on that.
Yeah, that's a lot of boat.
That's a lot of boat.
That's a lot of boat. And that's, I was going to say that shipyard has 5 or 6 designs or models they built up until now, the biggest being 80 meters. So this is a big step up to go from 80 to 100.
To 100. So for those of you that are not in the industry or new to it, we want to do a little, squirrel and let you know the conversion between the meters and the feet. It's always been a question, but now we have an easy 100 meter and you convert, it's 3.28. So you multiply that times 100 meters times 3.28 and you get what?
328 feet. Or meters. Yeah, feet. Right, exactly.
Yeah, so just a little,
And the inverse works too. If you're looking at a 100-foot yacht, that equates to about 32.8 meters.
Right, exactly. So it can go both ways, but little fun yachting unplugged fact.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so rolling right into the Lürssen story.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes, I remember that was a big part of our podcasts of past. And that has been, she's finally, Amadea, going back on the water and will be in use. She was sold at an auction on September 10th. Price has been undisclosed. The boat is still in San Diego.
She was arrested back in, I think, 2020, part of the sanctions against the Russian oligarchs and reaction to the conflict that's happening in Russia and Ukraine. So for the last couple of years, she's been in limbo in Southern California. She has been sold at auction. Now,
Do you know who the owner is yet?
No, there's undisclosed, and the price is undisclosed. And the challenge there is there are other countries that are challenging this sale. And so the risk is this boat leaves the United States waters under whatever flag. It was reported she's now under a Cayman flag. She still has the risk of going into, say, some European countries' waters and being arrested again.
Wow.
So this is I don't know that the story's finally told yet. It's in process.
We shall see. Well, let's talk about some history. I'm a history buff, and I know you are as well, but we have...
We're going to go to Seattle.
I think so. We're going to go to Delta, the 38-meter, 1929 built yacht called Amadea. Is that correct?
Pretty close.
Okay.
And I was there in their yard a couple of years ago, and I remember Dan Filanovich walking me out and showing me her. She's pulled out of the mud, so to speak. Steel hull, riveted steel hull, really cool, really classic, stylish lines. And they're basically rebuilding her the way she was built. It's a real recreation.
I love it. It's like taking something old and adding all the new modern technology our industry has to offer. That's going to be a really exciting project. I'm excited to see how she turns out.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
So rolling right into the movers and shakers section of Yachting Unplugged, we have a lot of good news to report. MarineMax announced major leadership expansion, appointing a new regional president in Southeast Florida, which is the boating capital of the world. Congratulations to Joshua Levin. Was I'm saying that right? Yes, congratulations, Joshua.
Yeah, and I'm going with MarineMax, a friend and a previous guest on board both my podcast, Yachting USA, and your podcast.
Yes,
Chuck Cashman has been promoted to the senior vice president of Global Yacht Sales, which is cool because MarineMax is definitely moving into these larger boats. Interesting segue is their Fraser Yachts division is
Northrop and Johnson as well.
Well, Fraser was part of the Amadea sale. They were the broker that helped make that happen with the U.S. government. So there's MarineMax's fingers in some interesting transactions going on, and Chuck's now going to be a big part of all of that.
That's a great way to hedge when you think about you've got all the new boats, and brokerage is a great way in pre-owned boats to leverage and hedge yourself in this uncertain market that we're in.
Sure.
So congratulations to both of them, Joshua and Chuck.
Right.
Great news on that. All right, heading into HMY Yacht Sales, some news on them. They were named the Florida dealer for MJM Yachts, a move that will strengthen their presence in the popular lineup of their boats here in Florida.
That's good. That's what we need to see in the small boat market right now, and it's a great organization to do it.
Yep.
They also are the primary dealer, one of the most popular dealers handling the Viking line. And, it's just kind of good to see how we're still moving some U.S.-built boats.
Congratulations to HMY. All right, let's talk about, now we're going to talk about the heavy equipment sector. There's some big news going on there, some expansion. I want to also share that the U.S. market for marine travel lift it's the components for marine travel lift. The heavy equipment sector is expanding. Exact Tech Inc., the heavy fabricator that supplies components for marine travel lift, just opened a second large production facility in Michigan.
In the Rust Belt of the United States, I love it. That's where manufacturing was born here in the United States, and it's good to see it happening. And it makes sense. One of the conversations that I was part of during the Monaco Yacht Show was the growth of the refit sector going into 2026. They're projecting over 22,000, maybe as many as 2,500 vessels going into refit worldwide.
That's great.
And that speaks to the need to have the infrastructure. And I think companies like Marine Travel Lift that provide the travel lifts that move these boats around the shipyards see that opportunity and are responding to it.
Yeah, and there's not a marina or a shipyard that you go to where you don't see that name.
No, you have to have. That's almost one of the only efficient ways to move a boat in and out of the water and around the yard on the hard.
Well, I'm excited. It shows that there's an uptick in our industry and in the yacht and the mega yacht space. So congratulations to everyone involved on that. It's such great news. Yeah. Another congratulations to the National Marine Manufacturers Association, who won a big award. They won the National Safe Boating Award recently because of their commitment to boater education and safety, a theme that we have really been talking about here on Yachting Unplugged constantly.
What's the most important thing? I mean, boating is a recreation. Families that boat together tend to have a more stable lifestyle, and it's a wonderful way to recreate. But the ocean is unforgiving. You have to be careful. You have to respect the safety that's needed to be on the water, and that's good to see the NMMA.
Belly up to the bar, as they say. Do we say leadership starts? It starts at the leadership level, and the change has to happen there. So congratulations to Frank Hogemeyer and his entire team for really putting safety at the forefront. But before we move on to the next thing, let's talk about a critical safety alert that's been put out by the U.S. Coast Guard regarding the Sea-Doo switch watercraft, which is sometimes seen as a tender or at the end user. This is a vital news for owners and for dealers as well.
Yeah, the Bombardier Sea-Doo switch. It's interesting too, because I have an overseas client that actually asked me to see if I could source one of these boats for them. And in our research, we discovered that probably not a good idea right now. The Coast Guard issued a safety alert based on multiple capsizings since 2022 that have led to fatalities and severe injuries. What's going on is these boats, if they're not loaded properly, the way they're built, they can basically, they basically nosedive into the water. And if you're not at the helm understanding what's about to happen, you will capsize the vessel. And that's what's happened in these incidences. They've capsized, they've basically plowed the bow, they capsized the boat, throwing the passengers in the water. And if you're not wearing life jackets, or if you're in really cold water, or if you happen to get injured in the process of being thrown from the vessel, that's where the tragedies occur.
And an accident just recently in August of this year in Lake Flagstaff
Lake
in Michigan. Or sorry, was it Maine? I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 7 people on board the Sea-Doo switch, none of them wearing life jackets. 7 immediately thrown into the water when the vessel bowed down, capsized. 7 individuals in the water and 3 women who actually ended up perishing in the accident. So it's just a horrible...
It's tragic.
Very tragic.
So if you've got one of these boats, or if you're selling one of these boats, I think you want to pay attention to what this Coast Guard safety alert's really all about. I think it's one of these products that have to be looked at very carefully before you put other people on them.
Well, let's talk about the actual how we can prevent this, not just report the tragic news of this situation, but when I was at IBEX and you were there as well, there was a common theme that we saw consistently. Every aisle I went down, that I couldn't not find a product that was tied to safety. Safety is a huge factor in our industry. So we're bringing the innovation, the research and development. This money is going into safety and safety products. But Garmin announced the MOB, which stands for Man Overboard System, that they just announced. They just launched. What a great system.
It's cool. If you're familiar with the air tags and things that people use for tracking their phone or their vehicles or their loved ones sometimes, they're using something similar that's tied into their Garmin system so that if, the vessel triggers an alarm either by capsize or by engine shutdown, these basically start signaling the location of the passengers who have these attached to the life jackets or to their person somehow.
Absolutely. And pet too.
Yeah.
It's person, it could be your pet, it could be, anything for that matter. But as long as you have this tag attached to the life vest or to the person itself, it will set a waypoint, which is amazing,
right,
on the Garmin or any system. But we're focusing on Garmin right now, but there's a lot of products out there. But Garmin recently announced this, which
triggers an audible alarm as well.
It does.
It gets the attention.
And if the captain goes overboard, is a complete system shut off.
Right. Assuming the captain does what, like I do when I'm at the helm and you've got your engine disconnect lanyard attached to your kill switch. Very important.
Yeah, I love that. So congratulations again. Everyone that was at IBEX was really focused on safety, and we love to hear that. It's a big thing for us here on Yachting Unplugged.
Yeah.
I was at the industry breakfast at IBEX just recently, and everything was just all about innovation. There was 112 entries that actually just were amazing, all the technology that's out there.
And IBEX recognized 12 of those 112, right?
Yes, there was 12 entries, 12 award winners, and they had an actual area where it was the innovation circle. You got to actually walk around and see all of the winners and their products right there in one area. So if you haven't attended IBEX, I'd like to speak to the captains, the crew, the yacht owners. If you're a part of a business and that you are part of our industry, you can attend. Dealers as well, brokerage, whomever you are. It really is it's an amazing event.
It really
not
is.
To miss.
And if you've missed IBEX this year, you have one more opportunity. Mets Trade happens in Amsterdam in November, owned by the same group. And it's basically IBEX on steroids. So they'll have all 12 halls this year open and completely full, over 1,600 exhibitors. And it's 3 days of immersive maritime, mostly parts and materials for boat building and services. So if you have the opportunity, I would encourage you to head to Amsterdam in November and go to Mets Trade.
Very good. Well, I look forward to seeing more about everything that's announced there as well. Let's move on to movers and shakers. There's more movers and shakers news.
Wow, amazing.
I know. The boating industry's 2025 movers and shakers list was just announced, and there's some big players on it. We would like to congratulate Keith Younger, who is the president of Sea Ray Boats. Congratulations for your leadership and for your vision and carrying that whole, company and forward.
Yes.
Also, the CFO of Brunswick, I'd like to congratulate Ryan Willem, who is really being congratulated and awarded for his leadership and his commitment to financial strength, leading Brunswick into the next chapter of how old are they? They're a very old company.
Yeah, they've been around longer than I have. That counts.
How old is that, Rick?
We'll just leave it at that. How about that?
Exactly. All right. Well, congratulations to them. Congratulations to the Suntex executives and many others that were on that list. You are definitely leading the industry and taking us to the next level.
Now, that's really cool. That's cool. And then, of course,
talk about FLIBS.
I was going to say, that's where we are right now. We are looking out the window here. You can't see it, but we can.
Yes.
Boats lined up here at Sunrise Harbor Marina. It's packed. It's packed.
It is run by Bradford Marine, and congrats to Bradford. You guys have done an amazing job with this marina.
Yeah, it's beautiful. They've done a great job here. And this boat show is going to be spectacular. Now with the Las Olas Marina open, the restaurants there open, the offices there. I mean, the docks are gorgeous, brand new, modern. From there all the way to Pier 66, which went through a $1 billion renovation, and this year really almost fully come alive. They got a few more things to finish up there, but Pier 66 and
it's amazing. If you haven't been to Pier 66, you have to go there and check it out. The whole fame is all about the number 66 from Phillips 66.
So it's Phillips 66.
And
It's
so,
fun.
yeah, 33 seconds to the top, the bar that's at the top, 33 seconds down, 66 spears at the top. It's a really cool thing. And what's
66
great is,
to do the loop.
right? And it's the 66th year of the Fort Lauderdale International Boat
I
Show.
love that.
So it's a really
know?
good theme. So 66 is the number of this year's.
Also been around longer than I have.
Good to know.
Not by much.
So it's happening October 29th through November 2nd. There's 7 locations, as we just said, 3 million square foot of boats and exhibitors.
It's crazy. And to understand that there is an economic impact of over 1.78, almost $1.8 billion that comes into Broward County
It's crazy.
through this boat show and all of the transactional business that happens at this boat show.
So it goes Wednesday at noon. Please make sure you do not show up at 10 o'clock because the doors will not be open. Show opens at noon on Wednesday, October 29th, and then goes to 6 o'clock every day, I believe.
7.
7. That's
Yeah.
great. It's good to know. And then on Sunday, the hours are from 10 until 5.
I believe so. That's the last day of the show.
So tickets are available only online, and there are no box office at the show. We have a great promo going on right now, the Yachting Unplugged promo, which is get 10% off general admission by putting in Boat Boss 10 when you buy your tickets online. So it says 10% off general admission.
Wasn't that worth getting to the end of this show to learn?
It was.
I love it. I love it.
Well-
and the other thing to keep in mind too is that, with what's going on here with the big, beautiful bill and the tax benefits,
Yes.
there really is a benefit for bringing a boat purchase into your business if you can basically incorporate boat use of your boat or yacht into your business.
Yes,
I think it's 100% bonus depreciation on the purchase.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
real.
There's a Yachting Unplugged episode I did with Umberto Bonavita from Robert Allen Law. You're very familiar with Robert and his firm.
Yep.
They did a great interview with us, and we'll put it in the comments below, but you have to view it, check it out. They will assemble a team together to put this through very quickly by the end of the year. So come to the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. If you have a business and you plan to use your vessel for 51% of business use or charter, you can actually take advantage of the 100% bonus depreciation.
That's the real deal.
That's the real stuff. Well,
Yeah.
I think we've pretty much covered everything that's gone on, or mostly everything in the top news for the last 30 days in the marine industry.
I think we knocked it out pretty well, and we got more coming. So the next episode will be more immersive with the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show.
Yeah.
And until then, just what do we always say? Boat smart from the start.
Yes, that's what I say. Whether you live, work, or play on the water, just get on the water, right?
That's right.
And then always boat smart from the start, because we do not want to report you and your vessel or who you are as a tragedy or some injuries. So let's always keep safety at the forefront of whatever we do. And we look forward to seeing everyone at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, October 29th through November 2nd. You can find all the information online at FLIBS, FLIBS.com.
Absolutely. And we'll see you on the docks.
Look forward to seeing everyone on the water. Take care, everyone.
If your brand belongs in the heart of the yachting world, this is where it happens. Yachting International Radio reaches over 1 million yachting professionals and enthusiasts every month, with 77 million impressions, 220,000 social followers, and 74,000 podcast subscribers. Our hosts are insiders, crew, captains, CEOs, trusted voices shaping the industry. This is targeted, high-impact advertising in a luxury niche. Visit yachtinginternationalradio.com/advertise. Your audience is already listening.